200 people came to Trainroom Expo this year. Like every year, what they didn't see was the weeks of preparation, the 3 days of intensive setup and the technical disaster that we somehow always managed to work through. Preparation started weeks before the event. Cleaning the big bend layout, rearranging the train, and Sven Magnus mounted side panels on the middle section to make it look nicer. And then it was time for the final push. So now it's Wednesday and we are getting ready for Trainroom Expo and we have a long list what to do. So I have to clean the shadow station, hasn't been cleaned in a couple of years. Then what do we need to do? Then came the final 3 days, Wednesday through Friday. While one of Norway's biggest train shows cancelled their 2026 event due to lack of volunteers, we are attempting to run 2 full layouts with actually just 2 people, myself and Sven Magnus. We need to get the Heggedal layout.
Yes.
Then we need to get the big Bein line layout. That's a coffee table.
Your coffee table?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I think it fits in your car. Maybe it's... Yeah. Then I need to test the new watchdog. Okay, watchdog is a piece of software which does something if something goes bad.
Does something?
Yeah, in this case, last year we had the software crashed and then I had to spend 45 minutes looking where the trains were.
Okay.
So that's for that. So it will keep the place of all the trains, and if it crashes, it just turns off the layout. It should avoid collisions.
Yeah.
Yes. And so little time. Luckily, we can work now 16 hours a day. Wednesday through Friday, 8 to 12 hour shifts. Just the 2 of us doing work that traditionally required teams of volunteers. But as usual we got first sidetracked because Sven Magnus wanted to populate the fireplaces with some people, as it was barren for like a couple of years. Then Sven Magnus weathered the cardboard for the industrial area. How the whole car system was installed will be shown in other videos, so subscribe if you are interested in that. Afterwards we placed the buildings and drilled holes for the wires. Then we hit the mini ER LED to control the trucks. Then it was time to clean the shadow station, as there were some dirty tracks and a lot of dust. So basically we drove the cleaner train up and down after some vacuum cleaning. So in the evening, Sven Magnus' friend Rocrail came with a giant trailer so we could transport the Heggedal layout in one go. After some Tetris to put all the modules inside, we were ready to go. Northern lights were announced, but nothing was visible yet. As nothing was really secured, we had to drive carefully. After unloading, we decided to mount the layout immediately, but not before making the wires nice, something which I had postponed the last time. Thursday was stress testing day, running both layouts for extended periods of time to find problems before the visitors arrive. We had also Ture from the Norwegian Model Railroad Association, MJF, setting up their touring LGB layout. It's a simple plate train setup that travels to the events across Norway. The week after the show it was in Trondheim. Then it was time to also set up the Heggedal layout and clean the tracks. The brass picker tracks tend to corrode quickly, compared to the Trix tracks made out of steel which are in the background section. Also I found that some feedback sessions were doing a Christmas tree. That's when driving somewhere on the layout will cause unrelated feedback points to light up. Friday brought an absurdical logical challenge, transporting the Big Bein layout through the village, on foot. Sven Magnus called it Bein for tog, a joke referencing Norway's infamous rail replacement bus service, Buss for tog. Except this time the rail placement was walking service. And it was time to install the signs. For the first time it was not freezing. In a previous year we had to do that with -15. On that day it was warm +2. We also plicked the plate which I thought was not properly isolated on the Heggedal layout. The Dremel was the proper tool to do that. Then we had to fix a structural problem of the backdrop support.
Yeah, well, this side wall here was not made for this kind of load that you get when you stretch out this backdrop. So it separated from the landscape here along the crack here. And there's no other thing than the styrofoam to attach it to. So I figured if I take a long enough screw, this is 160 millimeters, 16 centimeters, and the glue on the screw itself, and attach this on the side into the styrofoam.
Yeah, and the other side has not the same problem?
Not yet, at least.
Is it cracked?
Yeah, actually, it has cracked here as well. And I need to do it on this side as well.
Yeah.
The thing is, I need to sink this screw top into the wood there, otherwise it will stick out, because I can't use force into the styrofoam. It will just
rip it away.
So I need to make a counter sinkhole for that. And this was the only one that has the old-fashioned tip, and it's big enough that I can find.
More testing. The Heggedal layout was working well. Occasional train stopping on bad track session, but nothing Sven Magnus couldn't handle with a gentle push. I basically set it up with the same program we used last time. The next item was to connect the LGB layout. We thought Ture would come, but it didn't show up, so we had to do it ourselves. Unfortunately, the manual had some errors, then we had a couple of shorts, and finally the system started to act up. We think the enclosement of the electronic was a bad idea and might have overheated over time. More testing happened while I joined the weekly group chat on the vidIQ community.
So we played that.
Then, right before midnight, I finally had time to connect the lights of the building. So I thought it would be just some wires on Saturday morning and then ready to go. But oh boy, we were wrong. Oh, now it's Trainroom Expo in about 53 minutes. I was here until, what was it? 12:30 this night, and I was here at before 9. 3 days of 8 to 12 hour shifts, we were exhausted, but we still had 53 minutes to finish the lights to make the final checks before 200 people arrived. Yes, I just got the lights working, but I cannot control it yet. So that's going to be done tomorrow. By the way, by the time of editing this video, it's still not fully connected. I was really pissed because a guy just showed up at 10 and thought he was open. That's no respect for just showing up and then trying us to sell stuff. It's annoying. And then the Heggedal layout started to act up, with even more Christmas tree events, but the first visitors were arriving. Sven Magnus had to drive it manually. Ture was at the entrance doing the cash desk and a recruiting member for the association. And Yoon was also helping out on both days. On the main layout everything was working acceptable and the visitors had a good time, with some staying for a long time, until... So and now we have again a situation, Rocrail crashed and now the whole shuttle station is not synchronized anymore. And I don't know where the trains are, which is bad. That's correct. Here should be one. It's there, Uetliberg, and the other train is there. Okay, that's perfect. Ah, okay, I found the train. It's no. Okay. I will have to resynchronize the layout. And the worst part is I had written a software to avoid it, but I could not test it. First day finished, and it was it a catastrophe?
Not entirely, but
Yeah,
it was tiresome.
Yeah.
I needed to drive the Heggedal layout manually for 5 hours straight.
Yes, not nice.
Tiresome.
Yeah. And now I remember why it crashed. After 4 hours, that special build I have from Rocrail crashes. And then it stops.
Okay.
Yeah. And it took then 20 minutes to resynchronize because all the staging blocks were out of sync. 20 minutes of downtime out of a 5-hour exhibition day, that's nearly 7% of the event spent troubleshooting instead of showing trains. And because the Heggedal's automation also failed, Sven Magnus had to manually operate the trains for 5 hours straight. It's exactly why we need automation, but our automation failed. On Sunday we were able to fix the Heggedal layout by isolating the feedback section which were causing problem. But there was another issue. Safe automation creates a new problem. To prevent collision on our single track lines, the trains wait. And when the trains aren't moving, visitors lose interest and leave. Manual operation, like what Sven Magnus had to do, can be more dynamic and engaging. But this is exhausting and defeats the entire purpose of automation. We are still trying to solve this trade-off, how to make automation both safe and entertaining. But that's something for the next time. But people kept coming. 200 visitors over 2 days came and had a good time. So the LGB layout was a disaster, it didn't work. So now it's already packed. But that's for the association to fix now. Then we packed down everything. And then Sven Magnus' friend came again and transported the Heggedal layout back to the storage. Then more module Tetris to get everything nice in place. So that's it. If you want to come and see all our layouts, subscribe or like our Facebook page so you don't miss out when we announce the next event.